Hey guys, Ben here with Half Man Half Tech and welcome to the channel. So a few days ago, Apple released macOS Catalina 10.15.4 and I got the prompt to update my MacBook today. So for me, if we go into the top left hand corner and then see about this Mac, we can see that for me this software update came in at about 2.9 gigs. So it's quite a large file and it took approximately 28 minutes to be exact, updating from macOS Catalina 10.15.3 to macOS Catalina 10.15.4. I will be comparing 10.15.3 and 10.15.4 side by side to see what are the new features that came with this new update. So first thing that we want to look at here is if we go into the Finder and then go to iCloud Drive, we can see that we now have the option to share folders to specific contacts. So if you go to any specific folder in your iCloud Drive, you can right click and then go to share, and you can see that you now have an option to add people, and if you click that option, you have the option to share via email, via messages, copy link or airdrop. And then if you expand this share option here, you now have the ability to control who can access the folder that you are sharing. So you can now select anyone with the invite or anyone with the link, and then permission, you can either allow the person to make changes or to view only. So that's good. It's a feature that has been available on the new iPhone OS and iPad OS. So it's good that that feature has now been brought over to macOS. The next new feature that we want to look at has to do with screen on time. So if we go to system preferences and then go to screen time, we now have this communication feature here that wasn't available in the previous macOS version. So basically the changes that you can do here are more effective if you have family sharing, and say for example you have kids that you want to be able to control whom they talk to, perhaps when they're at school. You can sort of set a time limit to whom they can contact and who can contact the kids and so on. So as long as you have them on your family sharing, you can always be able to control here in the screen time setting. Again, with the screen time, we now have content and privacy. This was available in the previous macOS version, but as you can see, we now have new options and you can actually limit movies this time around. So it's good to know that this has been updated also. Now the Apple Music app, which I don't actually use, has been improved also with macOS Catalina 10.15.4. When you select a specific song, let's just wait for it to load. As you can see, I don't have the subscription. So if you select a specific song and then you proceed to play the song, you get the lyrics that come down on this right hand side of the screen, and then as you read through the lyrics, you can select a certain section of the lyrics and the music will jump to that selected specific section of the song and continue playing from there. So that's another small notable update. In macOS Catalina 10.15.4, Safari received a small upgrade, and if we go into Safari and you go to this section that says export from, you can see that you can now export from Firefox and Google Chrome. And if you select Google Chrome, you now have passwords, which wasn't available in the previous macOS version. The previous version only had bookmarks and history, but now you have passwords. And if you go ahead and import your passwords, you can actually import them to your iCloud keychain for easy access. And this should be able to work across all your Apple devices. Another feature that has been added this time around has to do with the App Store. So if we open the App Store, before when you purchased an application on your iPhone or iPad, you had to go ahead and purchase another subscription for the Mac. But now with universal purchases available on the Mac, you can purchase an application, for example, on the Mac, and then be able to use the same subscription across all your devices like the iPhone and iPad using just one single subscription. Still to do with the App Store, if you go into arcade mode, say for example you want to play this hockey team, you can play it on the Mac and then if you want to go ahead and play it on your Apple TV or iPhone or iPad, you now have unified play, which allows you to basically play your arcade games across your Apple devices. So irregardless of which device you use, you can be able to use that unified play for your arcades. Another new feature is with the Pro Display XDR. So if we go to the Mac section on Safari and then we see the Pro Display here, so that is the new display that Apple has, and it goes all the way from like 5,000 to 6,000 with like a very expensive stand. So if you have this display, you can now play around with color gimmicks to best fit specific tailor-made task on your Pro Display. So that's good to know that with this update it allows for that. I personally don't have this, but yeah, it's good to know that it's here. Next, with this update, if we go into the system preferences and then go to accessibility and then go to pointer control, you can now select alternative control methods, and you have this option to enable head pointer. So if you were to select this option, you can move your mouse using your head. So that's me moving my head around. Again, it's very hard to use and very hard to get good control, but I think with good practice you can get quite better at it. So it's good to know that you can actually use your head as a mouse pointer and control your mouse cursor. Other notable stuff that have been updated with this macOS Catalina 10.15.4, we have auth authentication support for Outlook, which comes with improved security. We have CalDAV migration support when upgrading to a secondary device. We also have an issue that is fixed whereby if dark mode was enabled on the Mac and then you select specific text, that text would appear invisible, but that has now been fixed with this update. We have fixed issues where capture tiles may display incorrectly in Safari. We also have an update whereby your reminders app wouldn't actually send you reminders. So that has been fixed and it should be able to send you reminders. And then some display issues that have to do with the LG Ultra 5K display has been fixed. So if you were having issue with that specific display, the macOS should now be able to support it seamlessly. We also have over 20 security updates that came with this macOS update. So make sure you check the link in the description. I will link a link that will give you all the specific updates that came with this macOS version. Do take note that most of these have to do with connectivity and Bluetooth. So if you're having issues with the previous macOS version that had to do with Bluetooth and connectivity and just overall security of your Mac, those issues should be resolved now. So basically that's about it for me when it comes to macOS Catalina 10.15.4. Do read the description of this video for a full list to all the new features that came with this update. I mainly highlighted the major features that stood out from the update, and with regards to the next macOS version, we're not sure when that's going to come out, but in the meantime, before a major change is made, we might get minor updates on the macOS version, and basically the major change should be coming sometime in June at the WWDC if it goes on as planned. So in the meantime, do make sure that you hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and turn on bell notifications so that you get the latest videos as soon as we release them. And thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for the next one. Peace.